welcome one and all to another thrilling episode of Prog Review. And today I was asked by, I think it may have been one of the Patreon people, to review this album. Patreon is a thing where you give me money and I carry on doing what I do. You too can be a patron, and then I might, if you're lucky, if I remember, do a review for you. And it's this one. It's Fission Trip Volume 1. Alas, there was no Volume 2. By Ian Wallace. It says, quite controversially, File Under King Crimson. Now, I'm lucky because I actually wrote a review of this when it came out many years ago. And so I thought, what would be good is if I listen to the record, then, which I've done, and then look at my review and then see if I agree with it. And yeah, that's it. So anyway, this was done when this came out. This was out in 2005, 2006. It's the follow-up to that one, Happiness with Minimal Side Effects. Ian McDonald plays on that. On this one, you have Mel Collins and Adrian Belew. So there's always a King Crimson theme going on. This review was up on my website, but I took it down because of the whole Ian Wallace thing that happened back in the day. I don't need to go there again, do I? But I apologise for it then. I made a mistake, and I apologised, and I continue to apologise to it. But I took it down because I didn't want it used against me, because it's me being me. It's me doing a review and whatnot. So I thought, hey, I could dust it off. It saves me actually doing any work. I can actually just do it all again. So now, Fission Trip Volume 1 by Darren Locke. And this, like I said, it's about 2000. I can't read when it was out because they put black on a black background. 2005, I think it was. Anyway, now there's been a lot said about Ian Wallace on this website. What I'm referring to is me. I actually met Ian Wallace, a schizoid band thing. It was funny because the missus was there, and we met Jacko Jockstrap, and she remarked, "Who's he? Is he one of the roadies?" Which I thought was funny because we actually seen him at the Royal, was it the Royal Festival or Queen Elizabeth or one of those two, and she'd seen them on stage then, but he obviously came across as a roadie. But that's what I'm referring to. So in this way, I've been a lot said about Ian Wallace on this website. I'm talking about my own website, and I thought that only fair I redress the balance by actually buying this product and giving it a fair review on the site. And so with trepidation I ordered Fission Trip Volume 1. Now I'd heard clips on the website, and I said that I didn't like what I'd heard. Now some say this is a dumb approach to criticise an album before you've heard it. I reply to this accusation by saying that experience and instinct is worth listening to. And I'm a reactionary kind of guy, and I often post stuff before properly auditing it. Funny I wrote this back then, because this I'm almost preempting what happened. This gets me into trouble, but I think the majority of the time I'm right, and when I'm wrong I'll be the first to say so. Anyway, back to the review. That's amazing. That's amazingly prescient, because that's what happened. I made a mistake, and I was the first person to put my hand up and say I was wrong. Wow, Darren, let me just put the light on, because we're losing light. Oh, that's better. I look even more beautiful than usual. Can I turn it down a bit? There we go. When I opened the envelope and the album fell out onto my desk, the first thing I noticed was the sticker proclaiming File Under King Crimson. You saw it. I thought, this doesn't bode well. And so I put the CD into my PC to rip it, and the track information is automatically found by Windows Media Player, and imagine my surprise when the album turns out to be credited to King Crimson. Actually, it was credited to King Crimson. My annoyance level had reached orange alert. That's a bit cheeky, I thought. Maybe someone had made an error. But then I checked out the track information in detail, and the artist appears to be Ian Wallace / King Crimson. Confused? I am. So there's been a balls up. Fair enough. If this is a deliberate act, I say, you wish. That's a pretty acerbic beginning. So back to the record, and the first track is called Make It All Up. The Misses identified this as the band's happy with what you have to be happy with track, and it follows the same kind of jarring time signature and clunky guitars. I can see what they're doing. They're trying to appeal to King Crimson fans. The lyrics sit awkwardly in the music, and I don't think much of the singer, Ian Wallace. It sounds very retro, like he should be from some AOR record from the early 80s. The bit I did like was a guitar solo towards the end featuring Adrian Belew, which is earthy and typically him. It's a shame that they didn't develop this bit of music more. And went on listening to it, I feel very much the same. It's a little bit all over the show. The production, again, listen to it, it's like, wow, this sounds really boxy. It didn't sound like, it sounded more like a demo than an actual, proper album release. And that's using modern ears. After this comes Something's Going On, which begins with some great Collins flute work, and the drumming is loose and sounds reminiscent of his first band Circus. Oh, very good, Darren. To squeeze that one in. Then the sax is starting to get a kind of pictures of the city vibe coming on, and it's okay as a homage, and then the singing begins. The lyrics are banal and the chorus sounds a mess. Yuck. There's a bit in the middle of this where all the instruments come forward and play their little refrain, which I enjoyed, and it's not bad when the musicians actually begin to play, but I feel that they've tried so hard to shoehorn lyrics into this stuff that it just doesn't work. Spectrum, the third track, is awful. It sounds like a cheesy John Anderson song circa 1984. And then there's this really hard guitar part in the middle, followed by this silly electronic percussion bit. I just don't get it. And then the ending sounds really interesting with tribal drums and more blue guitar. It sounds like 7 ideas badly glued together. The next song, Master, can be filed under easy listening, with the initial cabaret style vocals and the instrumental section kicks in, and it sounds all predictably progressive with fizzy atmospheric keyboards, and just when it starts to sound like a decent music idea is about to form and I'm getting behind it, they start singing again. Stop the singing, please, just play. I like the opening of Going. There's a smoky jazz club vibe, and I enjoyed that on this listen too. I thought it was probably the strongest track on the album. And there's some nice piano work and drums being put down. Musically, this is probably the most cohesive track, featuring some throaty sax work from Collins, but again, it is blighted by lyrics and vocals that sound woefully out of place. Santa Maria is very much like Ian Wallace. It is very much an Ian Wallace song and very reminiscent of the stuff he recorded on his previous solo LP, Happiness, with minimal sound effects. Well, side effects even. And you can tell it is a progressive because of the 7/4 time signature. It actually has a reggae feel to it, and there's an interesting battle between the instruments in the solo section. It's probably one of the least annoying songs on the album. At this moment I felt the essence of my life force ebbing away. It had been a tough listen. Silent Life is easy listening. The Valley Below starts badly but features an end instrumental section that piqued my interest, but this is spoiled by an overblown finale. And Better Be Right is a nice enough song, but the AOR vocals just sound out of place again, and frankly I don't like this style of music. It's a strange album. It tries hard to be forward looking, but parts of it sound quaint and quite old fashioned. Some of the instrumental sections I enjoy, but they're set against awful choruses and terrible vocal sections. In places I got the feeling that bits had been stuck together at random, and it was these songs that didn't gel. If this album had been totally instrumental affair, some of the ideas had been developed properly, I think it might have worked out a bit better. Unfortunately, it's a real mixed kettle of fish. I also think putting File Under King Crimson sticker on these CDs is very misleading, because it is as far removed from King Crimson album as you can possibly get. Oh, you see, I've always been like this. I haven't changed. That was, like I said, that review was written years ago. And, I mean, listen to it again. It does sound all over the shop. It really does. And it's it's a shame. It's a shame. And that's it, really. I mean, I don't really have a lot more time, because I think that review stands. It's one for the completists. If you're a King Crimson fan and a collector, I think you probably want to check it out, but don't be surprised. The star of the show is Adrian Belew, because he does some interesting guitar work, and Ian Wallace as a drummer is really good. It's just a shame that I think you do need a producer. You do need somebody to, this is what happens when you do these homespun things. You need somebody there to go, maybe we should try this one. Arranging it needs someone to arrange the songs better. And also, the production was kind of curious, because I didn't realise, again, back in the day, I don't know, maybe I was listening to it differently, but it did sound, like I say, a little bit demo-y, a little bit doughy. Again, it's hard to get it across. I mean, in terms of a rating, I'll be generous because probably Ian's not here with us anymore, is it? I'm going to give it 2 Santa Marias out of 5. That's 2 Santa Marias out of 5. I think the happiness with minimal side effects is slightly better, not much. Again, because Ian he does this music that is a little bit, a little bit hokey. I mean, there'll be an audience for it, but it's just not for me. But there you go. And it's a shame that he's not around, and it's a shame that he's not here. Who knows? Maybe he would have been a 4th drummer in King Crimson. I think that would have been a good legacy for him. But yeah, there you go. And and that's that. And a bit of trivia is Herbie shares Ian Wallace's birthday. Isn't that funny? He'd enjoy that. He'd say that's karma, and I'd say it probably is. And the funny thing is, I had a choice as well, because Herbie was delivered by cesarean, and that was the day. So there you go. It's always there. I'm always reminded of my mistakes, and I live by them, and I've apologised for them. It's just a shame some people accuse me of things I haven't done. Ain't it right, Declan? But there you go. So that's an interesting review. Hopefully that is, you found that interesting. There you go. And that's it. My name has been Darren Locke. I've been talking about Ian Wallace's Fission Trip Volume 1. You're better off probably checking out the Crimson Jazz Trio if you want more Ian Wallace stuff. I think that stuff works a bit better. Again, you got to like lounge, kind of almost lift music versions, but there is some good bits in there that are quite interesting. But yeah, I don't think it's a successful album. And that's it. Thank you for watching. There's only one more thing to say, and by now you should blooming well know what that is, and that is Prog on.